Welcome to another episode of Game Changers for Government Contractors. I'm your host, Michael Lejeune, and today I am going to teach you up on a strategy that I think everybody should understand. And one of the things about being an entrepreneur is when you start off, it's just you. And then you start to add team players, whether they are on your team, like directly, like direct hires or 1099s, some outsourced people, that kind of thing. And initially, all we need is for 1 + 1 to equal 2. Like you just need that simple addition type of addition, if you will, to your life, to your business. But as you grow and as you scale and as you develop as a leader, one of the things that you need to be able to do is pick out people, processes, tools that don't just add to your life, they actually multiply to your life. And that's really what this is about today, this particular topic, because the right tool, the right partner, the right employee, they multiply. There's exponential results from the things that you're doing. It's multiplication, not addition, because addition is really like this linear effect that doesn't help create a lot of growth. You can get some growth from it, but you're not going to get the exponential growth that you're looking for from addition. You get that from multiplication. That's where leverage and compounding effort come into play. And so that's what we're typically looking for. I'm going to talk about a couple of different areas, and then I'm going to hit on this multiply concept that, yes, I worked with AI on it because I was like, I'm trying to come up with a good little simple way to think about this. And as I was doing that, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. We went back and forth and found this. But first, I want to talk about 3 key areas of your life. And the first one is your business partner. Does your business partner expand your vision, or do they keep it the same, or they have any vision at all? Do they help you move faster than when you were alone? Do they bring strengths to the table that you don't have? Those are questions that you need to be asking, because it's not just about increasing revenue. It's about increasing velocity. How quickly are you getting into the market and growing? One of my business coaches early on always said, if both of you are the same, then one of you is worthless to the business. Now, you may be saying, oh, we're just alike. And without them, I was doing 100,000 in revenue. With them, I'm doing 300 or 500,000 in revenue, whatever the numbers are, right? And that's good. But if you had someone with different skill sets, instead of just going from 100,000 to 500,000, you go from 100,000 to maybe 5 million. So you need those different skill sets. There needs to be some similarity so that you can work together, but you need different skill sets in order to be truly valuable to each other. Now, the next one I'm going to hit on real quick is employees. Do your employees own their outcomes? Do they reduce the workload that you have or add to it? Do they create leverage for you in the business? So when you're looking at them, it's not just output. You're looking at all of the stress and all of the emotional factors that come with having those employees. So you want to make sure those employees are adding, not subtracting from you, because they could be a good employee, but if they're extremely needy, they might be cutting into your time or creating stress or negative emotions and those kind of things. So you want people that only add and eventually multiply in your life. Anybody that's subtracting in any way, shape, or form, that's a problem. Now, I saved the third group, if you will, for last, because I feel it's the most important. When it comes to growing a business, your romantic partner is hands down the most important person in your life. It's the most important person. You can think, well, my wife doesn't even work in my business, or my husband has a job and we're not together on that, and whatever. Doesn't matter. The most important person in your business besides yourself is your romantic partner. And here's why. Here's a handful of questions. Do they create peace or chaos for your business? Do they understand what you are going through and what support you need? Do they focus on lifting you up or pulling you back down to the daily problems? Are they focused on helping you chase your goals and ambitions? Are they grounded and a support system for you? Do they understand if you're in the growth years, so that 0 through probably 3 to 5 years, do they understand that you're going to be working late nights and at 3 o'clock in the morning and things like that sometimes, because that's what it takes? Are they going to understand that? Or are they going to put the weight of life on your shoulders at all times? You want to know that when you're with somebody, you're stronger, you're calmer, you're more focused, because this person is in your life and this person is your rock. This person not only adds, they multiply. And it's simple things that they can do for you. I look at my girlfriend and how that just adds life to me, because I am energized to do things because she's also taking care of me. There's little things like making me breakfast or sending me a simple little note or hopping on a video call when I'm not with her and saying, "You've got this. I believe in you. You're amazing. And I know this is going to be a lot of work right now, but this is our build year and what we're doing." And so there's that support that comes from having the right person in your life. So if you don't have the right person in your life, it doesn't mean you have to get rid of them, but it may mean the business is not the right decision for you. I was in a situation prior where the person in my life was not supportive of what I was doing. So there was constant stress. And what I should have done was not launch the business and either nurtured that relationship or, forgotten about the business or found a way to do it in my spare time, which I don't have a lot of spare time. But the reality is I didn't make that decision, and the relationship eventually fizzled out and went nowhere. And so when you are looking at, if you're in a current relationship, so let's say you're married. If you're married, you've already made that commitment to the partner. And if you're married, you need to look at how they are supporting you in the business. And if they're not supporting you in the business, you can sit down and have a conversation. And depending on how that goes, you may have to say, "Look, I really want to do this. It's really important to me. How can I balance these things out? Because here's the demand it's going to have." And you have to make a decision together whether you pursue the business or not, because you've already made the commitment. That's the love of your life. You don't want to go against that commitment. But you need to work on, is this going to be the support system that I need to run the business? Because you may have to just pause that for a while, especially if you have little kids and your spouse is helping juggle the kids. That could be a whole other game. So I just want to stress how important having the right partner is for growing a business. And if you've already committed to the partner, you're committed to them and not the business. You have to focus on how to make that work and not how to put the business in front of them. I'm a very big believer of that. Once you've chosen your partner, nothing else is more important to them or more important than them. And so you need to focus on them instead of the business or the thing that you're doing. And maybe eventually it'll be something that you can work on if the partner is not right. If you're in the dating world and you're just trying to figure out dating and all that stuff, that's a great time to say, "Look, these are all the commitments I have, and I'm really trying to commit to you, but this is the support I need." And so you need to figure out if that's going to work based on that. And then you've got to choose. But at the end of the day, once you choose the partner, you really need to pour into them and make them your baby, if you will, and not the business your baby. So that's Michael's 2 cents. You can take that or leave it, but that's my thoughts on that, because to me, the partner is so pivotal in making this work. And that's why I spent so much time in this podcast talking about it. So lastly, let's talk about the multiply factor. So we're going to use every letter of the word multiply to talk about this, because I'm talking about 1 plus 1 should not equal 2. 1 plus 1 should equal 10, 20, 100. And if you want that to happen, you can follow this formula to figure this out. So M is for momentum. Does this person, process, thing, does it actually increase the forward motion of your efforts? So momentum is number one. U is for unique capability. Do they bring strengths to the table that you do not possess? So if you're not good with your time management, they need to be good with time management. If you're not good with details, they need to be good with details. If you're great with brainstorming and vision, it's okay if they're not as good, but they do need to have some vision capabilities. They need to be able to grow your vision once you share it with them. So you need to look at that and say, what unique capabilities do they bring to the table? Next is leverage. Does my investment in them create what I would consider a disproportionate return? You don't want $1 input creating a dollar output. For every dollar you put in, you want 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 100. You want a multiple of your dollar. It needs to be disproportionate. If it's 1-for-1, that is not leverage. So you want to make sure whether your investment is time, money, talent, like it is something that you are giving into that person or thing that is going to create an exponential result. Like I was watching an interview with Mr. Beast earlier today, and he was talking about how making sure he has the right people when he makes a hire, because he wants to invest in them at this incredible level, like this really, really high level. And if they don't see themselves with him in 10 years, he's like, then I don't know that I want to give you the effort that I know I want to give somebody on my team. And so it's the same thing. Like you're sowing into that person and you want to make sure that there's exponential results on them. The next thing is trust. Can I move fast with this person without constant oversight? I don't want to have to be constantly watching over my shoulder, making sure they're doing everything right. I need to trust them that they can do the job at the level I need them to do. The next one is and it's for initiative. Does this person solve problems without being told? Or do you have to tell them everything? You are not multiplying your efforts if you have to give them a list of what to do. You're not. And even if they have a job description and daily tasks, if they can't think outside the box and proactively solve things without bringing you into the loop, that's going to be a problem down the road because you're going to have to deal with that all the time. You want somebody who doesn't even bring the problem to you, they just solve it. That's my favorite type of employee. The next one is performance under pressure. Do they rise when things get hard or do they collapse? When they are dealing with something difficult, do they get frustrated? Do they lash out at the team? How does that work? I always tell people my superpower is being calm. When there's extreme pressure, whether it is financial pressure or people relationship pressure, or outside pressure or actual emergencies. So think disasters, think, worldwide issues. When there is extreme pressure, my superpower kicks in and I'm the calm in the storm. I'm the one who sits down and says, all right, we've got this. Let's create a plan. This is going to be fine. It doesn't matter. I don't know if part of that comes from being in the Army and understanding that if bullets aren't flying, I'm good. Even if bullets are flying, you just keep your head down until they stop flying and you assign somebody to take out where the bullets are coming from and you move forward, right? You create a plan. And so that's just kind of how I operate. The next is long-term alignment. We want to make sure that we're building something for long-term. When you're hiring employees, when you're bringing on a business partner, you need to bring on somebody who is in it for the long term. Whatever that means for you. You guys are aligned on what that long-term vision is and how you're going to execute that together. Because somebody that's 1 foot in, 1 foot out is not aligned with you and your vision. And it's going to make it very hard 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road, 8 years down the road, when you are having a challenge and you need to overcome it and they're not aligned, that's going to be a problem. If they're aligned, you hit the reset button and you're back on track. It's so good. That's why you need that. The last one is why, and that is for the actual measurable results. So the yield that you're going to get. So what are you going to yield from this relationship? These are the measurable return on investments into that relationship. So I was talking earlier about when you're alone and you add a partner going from 100,000 to maybe 350 or 500,000 in revenue. That is an actual measurable return on that investment where you want to see a 10x return at a minimum, not just a 1 or a 3x return. You want to see a 10x at a minimum or a multiple of 20, 30, 40, whatever it is, right? So what's the yield on that? So here's the hard truth that I'm going to leave you with today. You don't accidentally get exponential results. You have to choose your multipliers. You have to choose the right people. And sometimes that means upgrading. Sometimes that means eliminating someone from your life. Sometimes it means upgrading yourself. And so you need to take a hard look at the people on your team. And especially before you bring in a business partner, you need to make sure that there's enough differences and enough value that you're going to actually get an exponential return and not just a one-on-one. If you have questions about this, or you are struggling with your business right now and you're like, look, Mike, I'm in a situation where people aren't even giving me a one-to-one return. How do I fix that? That is a great reason to reach out to me, because executive coaching might be exactly what you need to take your business to the next level. Thank you for listening today, and we see you in the next episode.